Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First podcast ever.
First podcast ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never been on one before.
With all the business and all the other stuff that you've done in your life, and no one's ever said, "Dan Parson, you're a super interesting person."
They call me a lot of things, not interesting. But,
Not interesting. That's fair.
I might have been called interesting one or twice, among other things. But no, I've never been on a podcast before.
Okay.
Yeah, never.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Shane gave you the rundown already, but, you know.
He actually did not prepare me, so I could. He wanted me purposely unprepared for these questions, right?
Yeah.
So I was given no list or anything like that, so
good.
You're going to get it off the cuff.
That's what we want.
Hopefully
That's really what
editing.
we want. So, podcasts will be pretty long form and just post it on YouTube, and it is what it is.
Gotcha.
And give people the ability to judge you and make their opinions for themselves at the end of the day.
Just get a fair shake, right?
That's right. So, obviously now you're a real estate agent. You are running a big team, running a insurance office. What other lovely business endeavors are you?
Well, I've had a car wash for 4.5 years in Manheim. That's going this month.
Okay.
Shout out to Sean Laverty. He bought that. I just sold it to Sean.
Okay.
We do some stuff with Sean in insurance.
Yep.
I have, through my wife, some interest in Alcova. My wife's a licensed loan officer.
Yep.
So I have a relationship with David Orr and insurance, and partners with Casey Ebersol.
Okay.
From the Casey Ebersol team.
Yep. Okay. So main things are really real estate focused.
Yeah, we're kind of shifting it. Real estate's always been the top thing. I can see a future where insurance kind of, pushes out on that. Mm-hmm. Thought I killed this. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Real estate.
That's right. It never stops.
Yeah, I'd like to see a world where real estate comes down to about 40%. I have some ambition to do real estate in Delray Beach at Boca. So. Yeah.
That's really nice. All right. Beautiful area down there. That's for sure. So then, kind of getting into the real estate stuff and going from what you did before, how did that transition you? You were a police officer?
Yeah.
So how did that help you get into this?
Being a cop kind of prepares you for everything. I mean, that's the biggest people business there is. Trying to talk someone into a pair of handcuffs, there's not a lot of upside. And
correct.
There's an old saying that, there were some cops that could go into an outlaw biker bar and make friends, and other ones could go to church bingo and make enemies. You know what I mean? So it's all communication. You know what I mean? It's all talking to people, and I love being a cop. It was probably out of everything I've ever done, it was my number one. I loved it.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then leaving that and transitioning into the real estate world first?
Yeah, real estate was an easy transition. Yeah, real estate was an easy transition because before I switched over, we were doing 12-hour shifts, 2 days on, 2 days off, every other weekend off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I was already dabbling, in real estate, not licensed at the time.
Okay.
And then when I got hurt on the job, I just jumped in, and that was around 2012, and it's been really super consistent for me. I know a lot of people think that there's been a lot of ups and downs. I've just been like this. Honest to God, I've been really blessed.
Yeah, just a steady trajectory of just growth throughout every year.
Every year.
That's awesome. I mean, that's really good at the end of the day, because that's not really, like you said.
Maybe not every year and then regret, but there's been no loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's been no dips. Yeah. And it's been, very consistent.
Because that's really what you see in our world is a realtor has a, 2 deals a month sort of thing in 1 year, and the next year they're like, I did 10.
Right.
You're like, what? What?
Yeah, I
these things don't make sense.
I just couldn't live like that. You know what I mean? Early on, back in 2014, I think a lot of some real estate agents, they kind of threw shade because of us that bought online leads.
Okay.
And now it's funny. Pretty much everybody buys online leads, and if they don't, it's because they can't afford them, because they're too much, because they'd buy them if they could.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because I've seen it. I've seen all those people who throw shade, and then I see them, on Zillow or Realtor.com or some other platform, buying leads.
Yeah.
That's probably if there was one thing that is a claim to fame is, it's been said that the two things that I excel at are, I think that I'm the best in two areas. And I'm not good at a lot of things in life, but expired listings and working online leads. I think I've just proven, I've taken, at this point, probably 30, 40 people, and they've done as high as 35 their first year and consistently in the 20s.
Just because of the
platform,
the built path,
and then
that
multiple people that have worked for me have taken my formula, just rinsed and repeated, and it's working.
Yeah.
They're not even doing it right. Some of them are still having success.
Yeah.
So
they're doing it, 3/4 of the way.
Right.
And it's still just as successful if they were using it your way. Maybe not quite as much, but
online leads are tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No matter where
they're
you go.
just tough, and everyone. I've seen so many people. Oh, if I bought leads, blah 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 blah, and then they buy them, and then they just can't afford them because they don't know how to. It's a science, right? Yeah. You know what? Actually, it might not even be a science. It might be an art. I'd probably go that way. I think it's an art, not a science. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's fair. We buy online leads too, and it's not. Don't answer their phone. They don't answer text messages. Right. They won't answer your email. Then they finally pick up the phone and they tell you to go fuck yourself. Right. Like it's just not a. It's not something that's an easy thing to do, and you have to have it in that way of like that art. It's an art
Absolutely.
form. It is a science, but it's a scientific art form at the end of the day, I think is the best way to put it, because there is a specific formula that needs to be met. But that form, you can have the worst salesperson in the world meet that specific formula, or the best salesperson, but if they're not doing it in that way of it's an art now and it's a conversation to do it, you're not getting anywhere.
You have to remember, for every, like Zillow, or we do a lot of live connects now with Realtor.com. We convert them around 15. You know what I mean? But the standard ones, if you're converting them at 7 to 10%, you're doing good. But even at 10%, 90 out of every 100 initially.
Correct. It's just trash.
Aren't converting.
Yep.
So the other thing too is what people really just don't get, and I used to just when people say, "Oh, internet leads don't work," or I didn't. In the beginning I would correct them, but then I got to the point I just didn't. That's fine, just one less competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what they really don't get is the 5-year look back. The trajectory is so steep with online leads because you go your way and you do your 2 a month. I go my way and do 6 a month or 5 a month or 4 a month. And in, 5 years, I have, 250 clients and you have 40 for that repeat business. It just takes you in so many different directions.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like expired listings,
Okay.
Most of the realtors that have been in this business just don't have a clue what expired listings used to be. I don't know how long you've been doing this, but there used to be 3 MLSs. There's 4. It was REAC, Trend, CPMLS, and then here was what was here? Not REAC. What was here? It was. Do you remember what it was here in Lancaster? Oh, it's going to bother me now. It was it was some name that's nothing like it is now.
Yeah.
So you had REAC was down like it was like York Regional, and then CPMLS was up in like Camp Hill area, and then Trend was up by Philadelphia, and then I forget the Flex. It was Flex.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it was Flex, and we had that, and every month there's probably 80 expired listings.
Yeah.
And now you don't get that many now, you know what I mean? So
Correct.
it's just a different cycle.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's kind of wild that it was so many different ones, and now it's just
Right.
Now everybody has their own.
And you had to buy each one of them too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's just like, oh, well, this is what everybody's supposed to use.
Yeah.
I think that's transitioned, I guess, into this point, into like when you cross over the bridge, it's a different lockbox.
Right.
And then you go to Philly, it's a different lockbox. Right. A lot of those guys,
it was still like that. Yeah, it was still like that. But imagine back then, like if you had, back then for lazy realtors, it was tough. Or realtors didn't have an admin because you literally could take a listing that was dead in the middle of REAC, Flex, CPMLS, and they might only put it in one.
Yeah, correct.
You know what I mean? And top realtors would put it in 3. You know,
Yeah.
so it's, you know, it's changed a lot.
Get more eyes on it. Get more stuff going on that side.
I think the single biggest mistake that most realtors make is they don't treat this job like a business. They don't approach it like a business. They don't run it like a business. You know what I mean? They look at it like a job, and it's hard to scale like that.
Yeah, you have to act as a business owner.
It has to be a business, 100%.
The numbers. You can't just be like, oh, I go to work every day.
Right.
No,
Right.
That's why you do see, you know, the most successful realtor teams at the end of the day are getting into other stuff. It's not just real estate typically, right? It's, you know, they have a property management company, they have an insurance company, you know, typically the manager, like the team leader sort of thing, like you is an interest party in a mortgage company, a title company,
insurance. Think about that now.
You just have all of these other things that you're doing as well that are, whether you're running it or if they are, if you're just a partner in it, silently, whatever, you're still diversifying where you're able to get money to buy the team leads to profit to do those things. And that's kind of where.
I was going to say in I think COVID, the height of COVID, maybe 2021, 2022, I think I got $65,000 from the title company.
Wow. Just
that I've been with for 12 years. Yeah, one of the I won't share which one. It's one of the most well-known ones. The person that runs it has a reputation of doing everything right, everything by the book. And they were just doing so much business during that time. I literally remember quarterly my checks being as high as $28,000. You know, it's a great business.
Yeah, it really is. It's really cool to see. It's really cool to see. Is that you said earlier your daughter's going to try to be an attorney?
Yeah, she's actually on her way to the airport right now. She's leaving for Scotland to go to St. Andrews College for her master's degree.
That's awesome.
And then she's going to come back and end up with somewhere, maybe Miami, Yale, who knows. I don't know where she'll be.
Some college for getting her attorney's license and becoming a lawyer. Is she going to do the title side?
No.
Get her in that, or she's going to do
she'll be down in Miami.
Law down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that only kid? More kids?
No, I got Lydia's 24 and Emma is 21.
Okay.
Emma's at Old Miss.
Okay. Nice. So they're just kind of doing what they need to do, and
both great kids.
Yeah. Okay. And then married life wise,
I've been with Kim for going on, I don't know, since 2010. So and we got engaged 3 years ago, and
nice.
Now the ball's in her court, you know.
Yeah, working on that piece too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Obviously, you're working out all the time too.
Yeah.
As much as you can.
Not as much as I want, but I mean, you got to have an outlet in this job, you know, or else the stress will just eat you.
Yeah. It's 32 and my hair's already gray.
Right?
Sorry.
Yeah, I need some hair replacement too.
Get some hair plugs.
Get someone on the podcast that does hair replacement. I can be a client.
There we go. That's a great idea. I love it. There you go, Shane. There's your next task.
There you go.
Find it.
There you go, right?
All right, we got 3 new people for you. Have fun with that one. That'd be really cool. That would be awesome.
So go ahead, ask me a tough question.
I mean,
come on. You can tell me what
questions wise, like, you know, what do you think? We've talked about this just personally on the phone and in person of like, there's not an in between, right? So like, here's your tough question. Like, why is it that you are so polar with just like the real estate
either love
industry?
Or hate it, right?
Yeah, it's either like, you phrase it, I think probably the best way ever. People would either like love to kill you or would kill for you,
right?
Sort of thing. And like, there's not a person that I've talked to that has been like, oh, Dan's fine,
right?
Like, it's what we get along fine. It's cool, whatever.
It's been that way since I've been, I don't know, 12 years old, maybe before that, if I could remember. You know, it's funny. As you mature, it just doesn't bother me anymore. I got to be honest with you. You know, I wish I could sit here and tell you that it did. I just don't I just don't give a shit anymore. I know who I am. I would say, if I were to defend myself, which I'm not going to, I would just say this. Look at the people who have followed me, who continue to follow me, who continue to be friends in my life, who've been on my team. And, even the people that leave my team, I can think of maybe 2 people that have left on bad terms that I had fired. And they can say, I'm mean, I yell or whatever, but they can't ever say Dan was dishonest or Dan cheated me or Dan lied. That's just, you know what I mean? I am what I am. I take full credit, and I know what I am. I know what I'm not. I can be brutally honest, and I can be. I mean, I remember. God, I do feel bad for this one after all these years. And then, it's nice because, my fiance, Kim, she's really tamed me a lot. I told, I can't even believe I said this. He was the nicest guy in the world. I told him he had to change his personality. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
that's tough.
Oh my God, that's
right? A tough one.
Right. That's not the worst one. And Kim was so mad at me that I said that. I ended up apologizing to them. But I remember, God, it's going on 10 years ago. It was not a great situation, and this person was pushing me, and they finally said, "I really want to know what you think." And I said, "Are you sure you want to know what I think?" And I just blistered that person, and I still feel bad to this day.
Yeah.
But I think I bring out strong emotions in people. I'll tell you a quick story, and this kind of sums up how I feel about this now. So I recently had a lady join my team, and it was really funny because she came from recently transferred over to Keller Williams back July after being at Remax my entire career.
Okay.
The owner died. Earl Shirk, just an incredibly great man. And my heart just wasn't there anymore when he died. Things had changed. It went a different direction. And so anyways, I was at Keller Williams, and I hired this person over. And for the first 4 weeks, she would come to me and she goes, "People keep telling me that I better be careful working on your team." And I said, "Really?" And which I was already prepared for this because I've heard it, everything down to like one person said one time that I overpay people and I'm going to go bankrupt because the splits that I pay are too high and I'm not going to stay in business. That one went around for a little bit. I like that one, honestly.
That's a great one.
That was a great one to get around.
Awesome rumor to have.
So
that's perfect.
it was probably a day that I was, maybe did Pilates when this person told me about this other person saying something mean about me. So I was in kind of a Zen spot. And I said to them, here's what I want you to do. When they say how bad I am, I want you just to say this to them. You have no idea. He is 10 times, if you think he's bad, you have no idea how bad he really is. And it was funny because this person, she's very independent, very spunky, she actually started getting frustrated because it was about 5 or 6 people, and she tried to pin them down. Like, okay, I'm a big, she said, I'm a big girl, I can take care of myself. Well, what did you hear? So she finally pinned people down, and she was so proud of herself. She came in and told me herself, and it was nice because she was, she thought she was being loyal to me, you know what I mean? Which like, if you know me, I appreciate loyalty and honesty. And so she goes, "Dan, I pinned this person down." And I said, "Well, tell me what you know about Dan." And he said, "Well, I don't know anything about Dan, but I heard it from somebody." And she goes, oh, so you don't know, you've never met him, but you've heard that he might have said this. And so, honestly, we just laughed about it. So, but I just let it go that I have this energy, and it can't be doubted. It can't be denied. When you're around me, it has an effect on you. Some people, you know, like Ian Hay, he just took that energy and he just hit like so much success.
Yep.
Ian, I mean, Ian's just incredible. He's an incredible agent. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We still talk time to time. Sometimes I want to wring his neck, but he's a better agent than I am. He's going to go on to do bigger things. But some people, like the energy that I have, some people it expands them and it makes them take charge, and other people it just crumbles. And for many years, I couldn't understand. I'll just finish it up here because it's actually very, very interesting. People would tell me this stuff about my energy, and I would say BS. You know what I mean? I thought it was complete BS.
Yeah.
About 3 years ago, actually 4 years ago, 2021, Josh Packer joined my team.
Okay.
Josh Packer is honestly, we didn't like each other. I almost fired him. We didn't get along in the beginning at all. And one of the reasons that I almost fired him, he's the only one in this world that has ever made me feel his energy, and I didn't like it. You know what I mean? He'd come to my office, and I would just get, I've never felt anything like it before.
Whatever was going on in his brain, his
like
mentality,
he came in,
it was
like,
took over.
At first, he wasn't sure. He didn't like me telling him what to do. He thought I was belittling him at first, and he just came in with that energy, and I was like, man, I'd never experienced someone else's energy hitting me like that.
Yeah.
So like that's the first time that I actually had some empathy about my energy, because I'm like, wow, if I'm doing that to other people, it was almost crippling to me and we laugh about it now, and we've turned out to, he's like honestly becoming one of my closest allies, closest friends. This guy's the most loyal guy in the world. Mm-hmm. He's that one guy that, I mean, they don't make many people like him. He's that good. But yeah, my whole life I coached wrestling. Once again, some kids didn't like my style. Some other kids went the whole way. You know what I mean? So
yeah, correct. It's either you ride the tide or you sink in it.
You know, and honestly, I gotta say, I'm not changing. I don't want to change.
Yeah.
Because the people that take my energy and it expands them, man, tell me someone else. Like if someone else has done this in Lancaster County, I would love to hear about it. Since 2014, okay, my first hire got him to 34 deals, and I'll throw names out here. I got the receipts. Alex Myers. First year he did 34 with me. Guy named John Zunner, who was a close friend of mine. We don't talk anymore. His wife got into the business, and it's too many cooks in the kitchen. But John's an ethical and honest, moral guy. And John had never done insurance before. He did 38 deals with me his first year. Leanne Scalota, 39 deals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell me someone else that's taken people that has never been in real estate and got them to 39 or 35, 40 deals in the first year. Right. That are consistently not like, rocket one time. I mean, these are names like Josh Packer, Ian Hay, John Zunner, Eric Givler. For you guys know, Eric Givler is just a different type of guy, and he's just different. I found him in a Subway. And Eric's the type of guy that can talk to 100 people on cold calls and just be as happy as the 100th as he was on the first. He's a diamond, rare in that way. I got him up to doing 34 deals, and people told me he would never do more than 10. Man. So You know what? The biggest compliment that I got, and actually, when I met, I'll just finish it up with this, because this is something, you asked something that like changes me or something that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the money. The money's nice. I like winning, but the if you want to know what really, really pushes me, what, like, at the end of the day, something that I can be proud of, the change. When Leanne Scalota came on my team, I'll tell you really quickly about her. She's just top, amazing agent. Just one of the most classiest people in the world. She had worked for, he's a big guy at Berkshire Hathaway.
Schreiner.
The big one, bigger than him.
What's his name?
Craig
Hartraft.
Yeah, Craig Hartraft. So this was back in like 2016, maybe 2017. She had been inside ISA for them, and she just saw all the deals and thought, man, I got to get my license. So she went to work for her dad, Jerry Fisher, another solid, great guy. Jerry's not up to speed with technology. And so Leanne spent 6 months on his team and did one deal, right? And it was so funny. It was back when I was with Earl Shirk, and I'm going to the beach, and I had these leads, and I had 2 people on my team. And Leanne and Earl's, I was like, hey, can I give these leads to? And I gave Leanne leads for 1 week. She had 5 under agreement in 1 week by the time I came back. I was like, this girl is special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. She's special. And so when and I don't think she'd mind me saying this, because, she was 25, 26 years old. She has she was married. She got a great husband. She wasn't making any money in real estate. He's a great guy. They were, I think at the time, they were renting out a house. What was that Airbnb stuff that they did? Yeah. And, they loved each other, and they were just getting started, and there's no shame in that. We all start somewhere. But that was her lot in life. And, I look at her now, and she drives a Beamer. She has 3 kids. She has 4 investment properties. You know what I mean? That's something I can look at and say, no, look, I'm not taking the credit for that. I may have helped her point in the right direction. They did the work. Yep. Ian, man, he was 5 years ago, he was selling phones at AT&T. Yep. Yeah. And now he's making $400,000.
Correct.
Now, he's special, and he's done the work. I just put the 2 together and put them on the right path. Yeah. So. Yeah. I had an old coach that used to say, every time parents, teachers, that sort of deal would ask him, like, how are your kids? Like, how are your kids? Like, what's going on with them? That sort of deal. And, like, coaching-wise, right? Like, he'd say, I don't know, talk to me in 10 years. Right. Like, where are they going to end up in life? That's what he always looked at. And that's what it sounds like you're looking at in terms of, like, just the fact that, like, just your whole position of, like, who in Lancaster has taken as many people from zero to where they are now. And just, like, it's not even that you took them or put them in that position. It's you just, here's the path. Right. Coach them in the system. And then now they're off doing their own thing. And even the people that aren't the Zunners or the Hayes or the Packers or the Scalotas or the Givlers, there was a lot of people that I took, and one I can remember, language, English was their second language. They worked at a factory, and they did 18 their first year. 18's not a bad number, but for them, that was a difference. It's life-changing. Very life-changing. I mean, doesn't back matter then, who you are. That's like, life-changing. I don't know what you were doing in 2018 or 2017, but the average transaction here was $180,000. So it's $5,400. So $2,700, on internet leads is what we pay, and times 20 is $54,000, and then they did a couple on their own. But $60,000 coming from someone that's never made more than 30. Yeah. It's a game changer. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm most proud of. Not I don't. It's not your own success. It's I don't really care. I mean, look, the money's nice. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I like to buy. I like cars. I'll probably get a G-Wagon. That's probably really my only vice that I have. I don't buy boats. I don't do anything else. You know what I mean? I can't. My kids are in school and out of state tuition, but no, if you ask me, like, really what drives me, those stories drive me. But the ones what really keeps me up at night are the couple that I couldn't change. You know what I mean? I wanted it more for them than they wanted it for themselves. And I am the absolute worst at interviewing people.
Really?
Yeah. Like I was a great cop. I was a better cop than I was. I was an amazing cop. I'm not half the realtor that I was as a cop. I mean, I wanted to do it ever since I was my dad was a bank robber, and I knew legit bank robber, and I knew my entire life I wanted to be a police officer. But it's the ones that that you want it more for them, and you interview them, and you just want to see the good in them. I throw out all the police stuff when I'm interviewing people, and I probably shouldn't, but I just want to take that one person that no one else believes in and get them, show them what 25 transactions feels like. That's my crack cocaine, if you want to know the truth. Yeah. That's what puts me over the edge.
It's really an awesome thing, quite honestly,
and I probably don't share that. And the funny thing is, back to that comment you said about being polarizing. I don't know. If those people who thought they know me, maybe if they met me, maybe they still wouldn't like me, but that's okay. But I've learned in this business the hard way that there's people that I was told were such bad people, they turned out to be some of my greatest friends. Yep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you guys have stories like that where, you know what I mean, they're watch that guy. And it's, here's the last story I'll tell about this. Even though John Zunner and I don't really talk anymore, I acknowledge that he's an honest and ethical guy. He came to me about 6 months in the business, and someone was saying something bad about me, and he was. My people that work for me are very loyal. Yeah. Like when they hear something about me, they just know, because they're the ones with me all the time. You know what I mean? They're like, that just doesn't sound right. You know? Do you know what I mean? Like when you're like, you guys are friends. Like if you were at a bar and someone said, be careful, watch Shane. If you don't see your wallet, he could take 20 out of it. Yeah. You'd be like, wait a minute. I know this guy. I'm around him all the time. That's just
20. He's taking 40.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Math doesn't math, guys. Come on.
So I remember he come in and he was so upset that someone said this about me. And I said, John, let me tell you the biggest secret in this business that new agents have to understand. And it's and like they say the same thing about Craig Hartrath. I know Craig Hartrath. He's a good man. He used to be a cop too. But people villainize him too. And here's what happens. Let's say that you turn to be a shithead client and I have to represent you. Yep. Right? And you do something that is totally unethical, and I say, hey, Mr. Prey, I'm advising you, don't do that. Mm-hmm. But you're like, look, Dan, you work for me. This is what I'm doing. I need you to defend me. And then you do that bullshit thing. Yeah. And then I got to go back to him and cancel the day of, you know what I mean? And wreck your deal and wreck the next deal and make that realtor's day and weekend a living hell. And then what does he say?
Nothing. Sorry.
No, but what does he say about me? Oh, Dan Parson's an asshole.
Yeah, correct.
He doesn't say, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, Dan was put in a bad position, and his client Dan has no control, he can only advise him what to do, made that choice, and Dan had a fiduciary responsibility to represent that client, so Dan was put in a bad position. No, it's Dan's a jerk. Yeah. And the problem is, here's the real problem now, and I'll share it for new realtors and some old realtors. Realtors that don't do a lot of business, they can get away with that, because my team 3 years ago, for 4 years in a row, we did over 200 transactions. Yeah. Let's say you are doing 15 transactions. I have 200 times, you know what I mean, more of a chance for something to go wrong and someone to say something bad. Yep. And that's why the Greg Hartrath, you know what I mean? There's just an immaturity sometimes in this business where realtors can't put aside and say, wait a minute, Shane or Dan, they didn't really have a choice in that.
Correct.
It wasn't Dan that did that. You know what I mean? It's like it's like for loan officers. When your guy goes out and buys a car, right? And you got to say, guys, I can't. What do you mean, Nick? Didn't you do your job? You know what I mean? What a shitty loan officer you are.
Correct.
Right?
Well, I can't control you. You made the decision.
Right.
Whether your car died or not,
Right.
we're 3 days away from closing. You couldn't wait for
Absolutely.
a week. So yeah,
and that's what I talked to my new.
tough.
But just to tie that up.
Yeah.
So I told John. I don't know if he'd remember this or not. And it was really hard for John because I said, John, listen. As much as you don't want to believe that, and I haven't talked about John in years. As much as you want to believe that this is not going to happen to you.
Yeah.
It's going to happen in another 6 to 8 months. Let me tell you something. John Zunner was Lancaster County church on Sundays, hunting, as honest and straight as an arrow, right? Yep. Never hurt anybody.
Yep.
Might step around a bug not to kill it. You know what I mean? He's that good of a person.
Yeah.
Now, even though we don't get along anymore, I can still recognize he's honest and ethical guy. Yeah. And what do you know, 6 months later, he was really upset because another agent was talking shit about him based on what he had to do for a client. Man. And that's this business. And when you do a lot more business, your name gets out there a little bit more, and then I'm a little bit louder, I'm a bigger target.
More business, more problems.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Right. So
it's the same storyline, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, hard draft.
Right.
The big teams, the big people that are doing it all are the ones that have all the shit talk because.
Lucky for me, 15 years in law enforcement has stripped me of any feelings.
That's probably pretty fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like honestly, I say this. There's only a few. There's probably about 5 people in Lancaster that can hurt me. And the only people that can hurt me are the people that I've left close to me.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Where I've given them a spot on my whatever chart it is in my head.
Yep.
Like Kim says, we have all friends are in like a bookshelf. Some friends are on this level and some friends are on this level. But if I put somebody on this bookshelf and they hurt me, then you see somebody that is could lose their mind. Do you know what I mean? Because when I get hurt, I do get angry. Do you know what I mean? When I trust somebody and I let them in and they hurt me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, but I'm just at a level after so many years in law enforcement that I just don't have feelings anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I have a couple buddies that do it, and they kind of said the same thing. They haven't done it for that long.
Right. It's like having a ticket to the greatest. I tell people this is the truth. It's like having a ticket to the greatest show in the world, but you can only have that ticket for so long because it changes you.
Yeah.
Like these people who are here who think that I'm a monster, they should have dialed in 15 years ago and they would have saw a monster.
Correct.
Because I'll tell you something.
Police force will change you.
Right. Because I didn't go after, I went after the bad guys.
Yeah.
And when you go after bad guys, you have to be a bad guy. It's just they don't worry about Christmas. They don't worry about holidays. Do you know what I mean? You have to talk a certain way because you're inundated with it. And before you know, I'm talking a different way. I probably couldn't go 3 words without using the F word. I wasn't fit to be around a family. Do you know what I mean? But I was a killer and I was feared. Do you know what I mean? The people that were in the drug world, I promise you, they used to tell stories that they would call in to the station and ask if I was working, whether they would go out and sell drugs that night. I was feared. I swear to God, I was feared in that way.
Was that state or local?
That was up in Carlisle.
Okay.
And I honestly, I don't have that fear button in my head.
Yeah.
I remember there was a guy a detective up there we hated each other. I mean, we just absolutely hated each other. And the biggest compliment he ever gave me is, he was telling someone he didn't know I was around. He goes, I don't like him. You know what I mean? I don't like the way he acts. But I will tell you this. I have never seen anyone so unafraid. I just didn't have that fear button.
Yeah.
I remember being in, my best friend got shot in the head 6 times in Daytona Beach. That was one of current affairs. I've showed the people there. I got this cadaver disc fighting with somebody that had a gun and I got thrown out of a car and hit with a car. I just don't have that thing sometimes that says back up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, the fight or flight and just kind of.
I probably shared more in this podcast than I probably shared in 12 years, so it was funny.
Good. That's what we're looking for.
There you go.
That's awesome. I really appreciate it.
Any other tough questions?
Shane, you have any tough questions?
No, I'm not. I'm just.
You're just sitting along for the ride? I like
Go ahead, throw one out. You can ask me anything.
Question?
Yeah, you can ask me the toughest question you want. You got one more.
What's the hardest part of maintaining a successful long-term business?
I would say mentality, because as much as you can either, everybody that you train is going to be your competition, right? And you can either have that mentality and you can hold back, or you can just believe that the more things you put in their life are going to come back to you. I've chosen to do it that route. But, you think about it. I love Leanne. She's my competition now. She doesn't do internet leads. John buys internet leads. Ian, big competition. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you train people, you show them something, you give them a skill, and they use it as a weapon against you. No, I'm not saying that they did it on purpose, but, had I maybe not showed 35 people how to do my system, maybe internet leads wouldn't be so expensive right now in Lancaster. Maybe people wouldn't have bought them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say that's hard to do. This job just, it breeds, it's a cash business where people can make a lot of money quick, and you can really see, I've seen people do things for money that have made me not respect them anymore. So, yeah.
That's fair.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm off the hot spot. I didn't say anything to incriminate me.
I don't think so. I
Didn't break any laws.
Didn't break any laws.
You would know.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
I think you will see. Here's what the future lies for me. Here's the future. I am going to join. This is going to be a in the next couple of years. I might even be working for Josh Packer, or somebody else, and I'm going to foster a great. Build the insurance company with Casey Ebersol. Maybe I'll work for Casey Ebersol. And then I want to be in Boca, Florida, Del Rey in the winter. My best friend in the world's there. He has established a way to get leads. He beats Redfin, Realtor.com, Zillow. Just the other day, he got a $47 million lead that he missed by 2 weeks on the house. It was just pending, and he's killing it down there. And that's where my heart is. So my days are numbered for Lancaster real estate.
But you think you're going to transition that, like your team, out?
No.
What you're saying, like you're going to just pass it along
I have so much.
or like,
I have so much respect for Josh Packer. I'm going to just give him the keys to the team.
Okay.
For nothing.
That's what I mean. Like you're going to kind of hand over the reins to like the Lancaster-based business.
I do have a plug to put out for Goosehead Insurance. We have proof of concept. In insurance, if you look at the quintessential insurance agent, they work ungodly hours for the first 10 to 12 years, and then what are they doing after that?
Just renewals.
Yep, and they're golfing, right?
Correct. Yeah.
The hardest part is getting business. We've cracked that code. Casey and I have merged together, and all the credit goes to Casey. He came up with a way to get unlimited, high converting insurance leads. And when I say high converting, I'm talking 38 to 40% with just one touch, an unlimited amount. And we need insurance agents. You talked about my system for real estate. The system that I'm going to create for insurance is going to make the real estate look like it was kindergarten. I swear to you. And now, if anybody wants a career if they get in at the bottom of this, I'm telling you, even if they don't get in the bottom, even if they set in front of the same thing and just take this narrow line, in 8 years they'll have a $75,000 residual income. That before they even show up, they get $75,000 a year.
Just from the system.
Just from the residuals. Yep, just guaranteed. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
We already seen it. We got proof of concept.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, there you go.
This is going to be. If there's something that someone goes, wow, that Dan Parson is a billionaire. It's not going to be because of real estate. It will because of this what I'm putting together with. I believe in it that much. I'd bet my reputation on it that this insurance in the next 2 or 3 years is going to just totally lapse over the real estate team.
Wow.
That's a guarantee.
That's a pretty big vote right there. I like it. So, how people find you then, Dan? Where are they gonna?
They can stop at the dog park. You know what I mean? I'm there with my dogs. They can give me a call. If they really want to find me, if someone really wants to stalk me, I'm going to give you the 2 places. Between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., the Linden Diner.
Okay.
7 days a week, you will find me there. All right? If you miss me at the Linden Diner, and I'm not lying now, this is almost embarrassing to say, but I'm going to tell you. If you miss me at the Linden Diner, I can guarantee you between 4:30 and 6, 5 days out of the week, you will see me at Texas Roadhouse. In fact, I am currently hold the record for bar employee of the month. I won it for 4 straight months. I was on the board. They name an employee a customer of the month at Texas Roadhouse. My name was on the board for 4 months, and they even wrote down a Coke from the back because I don't drink the Coke that they have out the bar and make them go get one from the back. But I'm literally there 4 to 5 times a week, and I eat the same thing every time. I don't have to tell them.
You just show up, you sit down, and they just.
I don't even have to say anything. Linden Diner, they just say 2 or 3. 2 scrambled eggs or 3 scrambled eggs. Yeah. Same thing. Man. I'm gonna just say, I love that. I literally could eat those 2 meals for the rest of my life and be totally fine.
That's impressive. Yeah. That's impressive. And how about for work? How do people contact you for business stuff? I mean, we give away all your secrets. That's fine too.
Yeah, Dan and Dan Parson team.
Okay.
717-808-1764. I didn't even say anything about me. I'm a killer, man. When I have a client, they know that I'm all in.
Yep.
I'm all in. You know what I mean? I'm ride or die. I truly believe there's not. Well, I know this. Do you know? So we've covered that I've trained a lot of real estate agents. Right on top of that, I do a class at Keller Williams on Tuesdays. As many as 40, 50 agents on their own was showing up before I limited it. If people only knew how much realtors give away of their money, if honest to God, if someday when this big game on earth is over and everyone can say, okay, I'm dead now, I want to look at the crystal ball, how much did that damn realtor cost me? They would be shocked.
Yeah.
Right? They would be. They just give money away. I cannot believe how many agents, I swear to you, would rather give money away than just negotiate. And you guys laugh, and it's funny, but it's not funny. Yeah. These agents don't want to negotiate. All right, you have time for one last story?
Yeah.
This is the I promise you, this is the truest story that I ever tell, right? And you guys know who Mark Zielinski is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's your personal opinion about Mark?
I have no idea. Okay. I just know him by name. Don't know anything
Mark is about 6'1". He looks like a damn model. He was homeschooled. His family was in the ministry. He is as honest. The guy couldn't. I've never seen him mad. I've never seen him upset with someone. He's just a very caring person, right? This story's about him. And anyone can call him up and ask him about this story. And if I wouldn't have lived through this story, I never would have believed it. So we're going to go back to, you guys are going to love this story, I'm telling you. This is my favorite story to tell. You're not going to believe when I tell this story. And as crazy as it's going to sound, I promise you, it's all true.
So we can call him and he'll confirm this then.
100%.
Perfect.
100%. Okay. So Mark was, at the time I had 11 or 12 realtors working on my team. I think we did about 220 transactions this year. And back then, 2021, 2022, a lot of people were not getting inspections. Do you remember that time?
Oh, yeah.
Right? It just, like all the inspectors were basically out of work, right? So somehow Mark gets this house with a full home inspection, and he goes like, there's like 4 or 5 offers, and somehow he goes 15 over and gets this house, right? In the midst of like 5 or 6, 7 offers, right? And he gets a home inspection, right? I'm telling you guys, you're not going to believe this. This is true. I stake my whole reputation on how true this is. So Mark is another guy. He's a great agent. He doesn't like confrontation very much. He's not one of these guys that loves negotiation. He will negotiate, but he doesn't live for it. Yeah. So the people do a home inspection, and lo and behold, they tell Mark they want $14,000 in repairs. Right? So now, for the people watching this, you have a house that was 9 or 10 offers, right? You won it by the skin of your teeth. They were nice enough because the people thought there was nothing wrong with the house, so throw in a home inspection, and now your buyers want $13,000. And not even me during that time would want to pick up the phone and tell this other realtor, hey, I know you took my offer, I really appreciate it, but they want $13,000 worth of repairs. How do you think that's going to go over?
Oh, you just terminate it. That's the end of the day.
Exactly.
Move on to the next offer.
Exactly what everyone thought. Everyone believed that's going to happen, right? So Mark comes to me, and Mark did not want to call the realtor because of what we talked about before. Yeah. It was going to blast him. Yep. Why are you doing this? Why are you playing this game? And Mark's like the most honest, Christian guy in the world, walks the walk, talks the talk. So he comes to me, and he's nervous. He goes, Dan, I don't want to make this call. And I said, Mark, you just can't send an email over. He goes, Dan, I'm going, he didn't know this. He goes, it's my birthday weekend. And I said, well, what's that have to do with anything? And I said, call the realtor, right? And if they don't answer the phone, then send the request over. Yeah. At least you can say, hey, whatever the realtor's name is, Sean, I'm sending this, I'm sorry that my client wants to do this $13,000 repair. I know it's crazy, I'm sorry, but I'm sending it over. Here's your message, I just didn't want to drop it on you, okay? So he sends it over, okay? He did not know this. Remember I told you about 30 seconds ago it was his birthday weekend? Yep. His girlfriend and some of their friends pull up in a van and surprise him that he's going away for the weekend. He has no idea he's going away. Kicker, right? He's going, not kayaking, when you get down the river.
Like rapping.
Rapids, yeah. He's doing rafting, right?
Whitewater rafting.
Whitewater rafting. The place he goes has no phone reception.
Love it.
Right? He has no phone reception. Right? So I want to make sure I'm explaining this. I love this story so much. My ADHD gets ahead of me, and sometimes I tell this story, and I'm looking there for everybody excited, and they're like, what? That's dumb. Right? So now I want to set it up. He sends us over. He knows they're going to go on fire. He knows it's his birthday, but he doesn't know that his girlfriend set up this whitewater rafting trip where he has no phone service. Right? God. He doesn't get any phone service until Monday morning when he's driving back to Pennsylvania, okay? So he sends this thing over Friday, no service, all right? Did I set this up? All right?
Did a good job. Perfect.
So you with me, right? Yeah. I'm going to recant as close as I can these 5 phone calls, okay? First one, I don't know what the hell, Friday night. Remember, he does not get these until Monday. Couldn't respond if he wanted to because he didn't know they were coming. Friday night, hey, I don't know what kind of asshole realtor you are, but this is Bush League and this is bullshit, It ain't flying. Hang up. Right? Friday night about 8 o'clock. Right? Friday night at 11 o'clock. You know, I can't believe you did this to me on a Friday night before the long weekend, and now you won't pick up the phone. Right? Saturday morning. Right? He's listening to these on Monday.
On Monday, yeah.
On the drive back. Saturday morning. Mark, I've talked to my sellers, and they don't like this either. But here's what they're going to do. They're going to give you $3,000. Don't ask for a dime more, and you better get this signed it and get it back to me. Right? It's like 10 a.m. Saturday morning. 5 p.m. Saturday. I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but you have ruined my seller's weekend. They're really good people. They're having people over, and they can't think about anything else. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you $7,500. You're going to have this signed back in 2 hours, and we're going to forget this ever happened.
Oh, boy.
9 o'clock Saturday night. I really don't like you, Mark. I don't think you're professional. I'm going to call your broker Monday morning. My people have lost sleep. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you $9,000. We want this signed tonight before midnight, and we're going to forget this ever happened. Sunday at noon. Mark, I don't know where you're at. But my people had some time to think about this, and they believe the right thing to do is to give you the $13,000. Please sign this over, and let's forget this ever happened.
This is the greatest negotiator of all time.
I swear to God, on my grandfather's life, that is a true story. You can call Mark, you can call Josh Packer. I have probably told that story at least 30 times because it represents negotiation. It represents framing. I have a saying that hope someday I'm going to be memorized by it. It's something like this. In any negotiation, the person that can frame time the best is most likely to win. Always Mark did unknowingly is frame that time. There was no drop dead time between Friday and Monday. There was no clock at Sunday it says you have to do it. He said it. He framed the time. He made it work against them, and their own anxiety did the work.
Yep.
And I swear to you, that is a true story.
Yep.
Got it done. And I asked Mark in front of 12 people. I said, Mark, how'd you got those messages? He goes, Dan, honest to God, I would have been probably lucky to get $7,000. And he would have left $7,000 on the table. And that's what I'm talking about, that people never know. And there's so many agents, and I'll probably get shit on for saying this, but they give money away, and I don't even know if the agent knows it. There's so many agents that their anxiety causes them to give stuff away. And I know what agents they are. And all you got to do is just delay the call. And they work against themselves. So, true story, swear to God.
That's a good way to end it.
All right, man.
Hey, thank you, sir.
You can feel free to tell that story, but it's a true story.
We'll have to get Mark on to share his.
Oh, 100%. He won't believe it.